Imagine a year from now feeling more confident and waking up every morning with more joy, with more gratitude, and with your heart bursting with love for life. You're living your best life, loving every moment of every day, and you're grateful for each brand new day, embracing it as a gift. If you're here watching, take a minute to relax and join me as I talk about the future and, more importantly, why you should start paying attention to your self care so that you set yourself up for success in 2023 and beyond. Hi, I'm Leslie Godet, mindset and emotional awareness coach for women. I work with highly motivated female entrepreneurs who have strong CEO skills but need more self-care incorporated into their life and business to support their emotional and physical well-being. Now, here's something I've recently noticed, and that is that self care seems to be taking a backseat when it comes to what is a priority for living our best lives. I believe that self care is one of the most, if not the most important piece in life that supports our mind, body, and soul. And yet, there seems to be this disconnect because so many women aren't taking the intentional time daily to take care of themselves. And ladies, you are not alone because some of the men in my life that are coaches, friends, even my spouse are also not as intentional when it comes to daily self care habits that support their emotional and physical well being. What I'm finding is that people are finding ways to push through and ignore the signs from their minds and their bodies because, well, they're super busy and they feel the need to just get stuff done because they believe that the more head down, focused, work hard, grind mentality that they adopt, it will help them reach their goals faster, possibly creating financial freedom, which in turn creates that time freedom they seek to spend more time with their family and having fun and living life. That's why I'm finding that most female entrepreneurs that I am coming across when they first start out fall into comparison syndrome or chase after every magic pill strategy, which has them overscheduling their time, overwhelming their calendar, and the overwhelm has them procrastinating when they get stuck in their head and get in their own way by thinking and feeling like they aren't worthy or deserving. And then they start to believe that they're stretching for something, again, that they just don't deserve. Yes, I am speaking from experience because that was me in the first 2 years of my business. And let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. I chased after every magic pill, believing that there was a secret out there that only successful people knew about. And if I could just find that inner circle, and if I could just find out what that secret was, I'd be golden. That had me racking up the hours in front of my laptop, most days doing a lot of busy work just to fill my calendar so that it looked from the outside in that I was building my business. But I wasn't really feeling good about myself. And so most of the things I was doing was just to fill a time slot, and which had me feeling deflated at day's end when I would do an accounting of what I accomplished and finding that I wasted a lot of my time not moving the needle and not having clarity, and especially not using my time wisely. What I can say from my experience is that when I finally stopped chasing after every magic pill and I hired myself a coach, actually a few, I did hire many coaches. That's when I gained clarity of my purpose and focus so that I now intentionally set myself up daily for success. And that's through my self care practice. Yes, you heard right. Self care is the first thing that I do every single day so that I set myself up for a successful day through my mindset work, through journaling, spending time with God, and then throughout my day, making sure to take mental breaks, eating right, drinking water so that my brain and my body are feeling good, and also getting in some exercise. When I don't get in my self care or when I decide to skip it because I believe that one day won't hurt, if I put myself last on the list, it's that I do feel it. I do suffer because I'm saying to myself in my actions that I'm not important to me. And so I've been paying attention to social media and how women, because that's who I work with, when I'm paying attention to what they're posting, one thing I'm noticing and what I'm seeing are posts from female entrepreneurs who are doing great in their business, but who are now recognizing that they're burning out and finding themselves having to take a break so that they can focus on their self-care. And sometimes that self-care even includes focusing on their relationships that were taking a back burner to them, always hustling and grinding, which in essence is showing me that self-care is being overlooked, put low on the list, or not at all. Now, I know some will say they'll get to it later, but often don't listen. They don't often don't like do this because they don't listen to their bodies. They don't listen to their mind. They don't listen to them saying like, you've got to get in self-care. I've told myself all sorts of excuses so I could get it when I have the intention to get to it, right? Like when I want to do something, I have told myself those excuses like, oh, I'll get to it later. Oh, I can do my self-care tomorrow. But tomorrow would come and it'd be like, oh, I can push it off another day. And because we're so busy, because life happens, you can find many reasons to skip it again and again for another day or another week or another month or even another year because time passes quickly, right? And what I'm finding is that for these women, that until it became literally impossible for them to ignore the signs that their minds and their bodies were sending them, that they are burning out, that they are burning both ends of the candle, that's when it became urgent for them to take notice and to start looking at ways to get in their self-care. Because again, their mind and their body, well, they started reacting in ways making it impossible, literally impossible for them to ignore anymore. In fact, let me tell you a quick story about my client in South Africa. Her name is Wadzi. She's married and she has 2 young boys, and she's building her wellness business alongside her baking business. And she's been doing this for quite some time. We met through an online women's summit back in 2021 after I'd been one of the speakers for it. And I was sharing about the importance of getting into your story and living your life, like what that could look like. So Wadzi reached out to me afterwards, and we started talking. And then a few months later, I started supporting her as her coach at the beginning, actually, of this year, 2022. And when we started to go deeper into her life, it became very clear that self-care was really, really low on the list of important things for her to do. And most days it wasn't even a blip on the radar. In fact, she felt that she had the weight of the world on her shoulders, all of the responsibilities of making sure that her husband's and her children's needs were taken care of, and then making sure that all the people that she served throughout her day were taken care of. And she often found herself falling into bed at the end of her day, exhausted, overwhelmed with things not accomplished, and stressed about what was pressing to get done for the next day. And there was absolutely no time for her to even think about what self-care could look like for her beyond sneaking in a 15-minute nap, if at all possible. And most days that wasn't not even a luxury of 15 minutes for herself. Now, one question I asked her when we first started working together was on a self-love survey that I actually have my clients complete. The question on it was, if you were to give yourself a score between 1 and 10 of how much fun you are having in your life, what would you give yourself? And her answer was 3. I also asked her this follow-up question. Give a score out of 10, 1 to 10, 1 and 10 for how overwhelmed, busy, or stressed you usually feel. And her answer was 10. Now, if I was to ask you those same questions today, how would you answer them? Because are you having fun in your life? Are you living and building your extraordinary life? One where you can look back at 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 years from now, depending on how old you are, and be really happy that you really lived your life, you enjoyed it, and you can tell yourself, well done. Now, the purpose of today is just, if you're ignoring your self-care, I want you to know why it's important for you to incorporate this into your life and what happens when you ignore it. So why is it important to incorporate healthy self-care habits into your daily routine? Here are 4 things that I believe are really important for you to start taking notice of. Number 1, it helps you to manage stress. And who wants to have stress in their life, right? I mean, some stress is supposedly good for you, but stress in general, the kind that has you like pulling at your hair, like going multiple directions and feeling scattered, that's not the kind of stress you want to have. So it helps you to manage your stress. Nutrition and hydration are good for your brain, right? So you start becoming more intentional about how you feed your body and how much water you're getting. Think about it. When you eat a big meal for lunch, as an example, and if it's a burger and fries, you feel usually very sluggish afterwards. And if you've got something big to get done that afternoon, are you going to feel like doing it? Probably not, right? Number three, better sleep. It helps you have better sleep because what's happening is you are taking care of you. You're not, and there's ways obviously that you are setting yourself up for that, but you're setting yourself up intentionally so that you have a better sleep. And the fourth one is increased energy because again, with a better sleep, obviously you feel better the next day. You increase energy through your proper nutrition, hydration, all of the things that are really important to taking care of your body and your mind, right? So these are four things of why it's important to incorporate it. Now, what happens when you ignore your self-care? Well, you could become run down, get sick, maybe end up in the hospital. In fact, for one of my clients, before she actually became my client, before we started working together, this was a reality for her. She got sick a few times. And a couple of those times, the first time she told me about it, she did end up in the hospital. The second time was very close. Lack of self-care manifests in negative ways in your body, right? Stress-related headaches, backaches, stomach aches, illnesses that you're thinking like, why is my back aching? Why are my shoulders like feeling so tight? And why do I feel uncomfortable? Why do I feel restless, right? Difficulty, which leads me to difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep because you can't turn off your brain. It's on overdrive, worrying about all that you didn't get done that day, the quality of what you did, because maybe you're second guessing what you did, thinking it's not good enough, and all of that, all of what still awaits you for the next day to get done. You may even find yourself waking up in the wee hours of the morning and then your mind won't shut off and you have trouble falling back asleep, which leaves you exhausted when you get up to tackle a brand new day, which can then lead to you being grumpy, irritable, quick to anger, snappy, saying things you don't mean because you don't feel good. And then on unhealthy eating habits, you find yourself doing that because you find yourself reaching for the fast fix instead of being intentional with eating healthy to sustain your energy, to take care of your body. Your brain actually does consume, I think it's between 20 and 30 calories of what you take in. So imagine that. So if you eat 100 calories, your brain's eating between 20 and 30%, consuming 20 to 30% of that. So start thinking about what you're doing to your body will help you. And that's part of self-care. Maybe even emotional eating, that is part of it. You get caught up in your emotions when you're emotionally triggered. That's stress eating, for example. And then being in that state of mind can steal your time because your emotions manage you. And that can lead to depression, anxiety, you're resentful of others, maybe blame shifting your circumstances onto other people as if it's their fault. Now, my client Wadzi and I have been working together this entire year of 2022. And through her doing the work for herself, yes, we've been working for almost a year together, putting in the time to put herself first. She has told me that she feels more connected to her purpose, to her mission. She has a deeper level bond with her husband and her two boys. And she's more self-confident, motivated, encouraged, calm, self-aware of mind, body, and spirit, enabling her to be the best version of herself. These are all her words that she used to describe herself. And she also told me, thank you for encouraging me to put in the work to see myself transformed. See, again, it's not about me doing it for her. It's me helping her to find ways to support herself so that she can have that life that she wants to live, where she feels more joy, where she feels more confident, where she has more love in her life, where she's got more ease and flow in her life, where her emotions aren't managing her, right? Now, through my own self-development journey these past 6 years, which is ongoing, because I do believe truly that when you are on, you still learn that you're still growing. It's allowed me to create processes that work and be able to share them with others so that they can learn to feel good about themselves and finally be able to love their own reflection, start living their life with more joy. Now, is stress going to magically disappear and never show its ugly head again? Probably not, right? Will you sometimes feel overwhelmed when you have a lot of things to get done and not sure how you'll be able to fit it into your days? I can probably say, yeah, maybe. Will incorporating self-care habits to support your overall well-being emotionally and physically, help you live your life with more joy, purpose, confidence, clarity, and gratitude? My answer is, I believe, 100% yes. If you're ready to start loving your life and living from a place of joy and gratitude with more love in your heart for yourself than you've ever imagined was possible, joyful for each new day, every new experience, it's time for you to put self-care on top of your list and make it non-negotiable. Make it a non-negotiable thing that you do for yourself daily to support yourself emotionally and physically. Now, I'm extremely excited for 2023, and I hope that you are too. And if you want to look forward with confidence that no matter what, you're going to live a beautiful life, then it's time that self care became your number one priority in your life and how you treat yourself. Absolutely, 100%. So that you're more confident in your decisions and you stop second guessing yourself and you can leave self doubt in the rear view mirror, right? So you have better relationships and you're building those deeper level bonds with your loved ones, with your significant other, with your children, so that you feel more confident in your conversations and you're giving yourself permission to speak your truth because you found your voice. You know yourself. You're able to speak with clarity and confidence what you want for your life, so that you're living your life from your happy place and you feel good about yourself. Again, so that you feel confident in going after your goals because you trust yourself, right? More in your choices and decisions. And so that you feel seen, heard, and understood by the people in your life because you feel good about who you are and you're supporting your well-being, which allows you to have more clarity and focus. And you start being more intentional about how you're living your life. Yes, self-care supports your life. Self-care will help you live your life the way you have been dreaming about. Now, I know that the end of the year is freaking out some of you right now because you haven't reached all of your goals yet, or maybe you haven't even started some and now you are starting to panic. And I want to say, don't panic because, yes, although 2023 is around the corner, and maybe you haven't accomplished everything that you wanted to have accomplished by now, or maybe you haven't started some of the things that you said you would have started and completed by now. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up for it because I want you to understand one thing that we are really good at, and that is beating ourselves up. So start paying attention to the narrative in your head. If you wouldn't say out loud to anyone else the negative things that you're willing to say in your head to yourself, maybe it's time for you to check that inner critic in your head, right? Definitely 100% do not ignore your self-care because pushing without taking care of you is sacrificing the best of you that's waiting to happen. Let me repeat that because maybe you didn't hear that the first time, but I want it to hit. Don't ignore your self-care because pushing without taking care of yourself is sacrificing the best of you that's waiting to happen. So I hope that this message landed today, at least to get your attention to start taking better care of you. And remember this too, especially as I said, 2023 is fast approaching. Timing is more important than how long it takes for you to achieve your goals. And when you realize that, you will know that you're right where you're meant to be right now. So I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day and a beautiful life. And I will see you guys next time. And you are welcome. You are so welcome. Again, self-care is really important. I truly believe that when you pay attention to that and you start filling your cup, I say fill your cup daily, you'll never run on empty. You start living your life more intentionally around those things that you truly want because you will look after you. And when you look after you, guess what? Here's one more thing. One more amazing thing that happens in your life. When you're the best version of you, guess what happens to the rest of the people in your life? They get the best of you. So remember that. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you next time.